Hello my friends all over the world, wherever you are. In this video I'm going to juice a melon. And this time I'm going to use 2 cloths instead of 1 cloth because you get better pressure from 2 cloths. So let's separate these cloths out. Okay, I have my cloths separated, and I want to point out that I'm using the new custom-made bamboo liners to prevent the fruit from sticking to the cloths. If you didn't have the liner, you would have a cleanup nightmare with these cloths because everything would stick to the cloth. Another thing I want to point out is I'm using the number 2 grid or the number 3 grid. I'm going to cut this melon up into manageable pieces that will fit into the feed tube, and I'm going to juice the rind, the seeds, and all. The next thing I'm going to point out is that you want to fill the container half full, or maybe a little bit less. I found last time that half full was a little too much. And secondly, you want to feed the seeds, the rind, and the fruit in very, very slowly so that you don't get a blowback. First thing I'm going to do is plug in the thermometer so that I can monitor the temperature. I don't want it to get too high. And remember, keep this covered and feed it in slowly. Cover with the pusher or with your hands. And another tip is to go down only halfway. And all. There's about half. I'm going to pour this into the liner and fold this over. Now you could never do this with paper. Paper would definitely tear, but bamboo is very, very strong. So I'm going to fold the cloth over the bamboo liner. And because we're using 2 cloths, we're going to set this aside, get another bamboo liner, and let's make a little more pulp. Fold our second cloth. Then we'll use a 8-cup container to collect the pulp. You don't want to use a small one. You don't want to use a small one because it would overflow if you got distracted. So we're using an 8-cup container. You get better pressure with 2 cloths full. But before we press that, let's pour all this juice in here. You can see how liquid it is. All the way back it off a little. You don't want the press to go up too quickly. If it does, fruit is very slippery and so are greens, and your cloths will slip apart and you'll have a major mess. So go up slowly at first. And once it compresses halfway, you can advance the lever a little bit more. There it goes. Advancing all the way. Now you'll notice if I had a small container that would definitely overshoot. So use a large 8-cup container. Now let's take these cloths out, and I'm going to demonstrate that you can reuse these bamboo liners. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump a new batch of pulp on top of the old spent pulp, because the old spent pulp will act as another layer of filter. So let's take the last of the melon. too full. So let's fill the last of it up. We're going to put the rest of these seeds in here. The juice, the seeds, and the rind and all. Everything. Be sure to clean your melons before you do this. Okay, now we're going to dump the pulp. I'm not going to dump all of it because it looks like it's a little too full to me. I'm going to fold the bamboo liner over as we did before. Fold the cloths into thirds. Set it aside, and let's get the other one. Open up the liner. Now if this was paper, this would fall apart. These bamboo liners are perfect for this kind of application. So we'll pour the rest of this in here. Spatula, get all of that out. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take the remains that's inside the feed tube, scrape off the grid, and I'm going to set this aside to clean later. Unplug the thermometer, remove the feed tube, and get the rest of the pulp that's inside. Chef's knife to scrape off the rest of the pulp. If you have gloves on, you can pull the cutter off. If not, wrap a towel around it. You don't want to cut yourself. Before I clean this, I'm going to put the feed tube back on. Fold the bamboo liner over again. In a previous video, I was able to reuse the liner 5 times, but in this case it's only going to be twice. But we're going to get better pressure because we're using 2 cloths full of pulp at one time. Center it all the way back and back it off a little bit. And then all the way. Boy, they got a lot of juice out of that one little melon. Let's remove the cloths and show you why these bamboo liners are a good idea. Look at that, perfectly clean. Throw that away. I just love these bamboo liners. They're so practical. And they do such a good job preventing the cloths from getting clogged with fiber. Alright, let's see how many bottles of juice we got from that one melon. Well, it was a small melon, so we got 2 2/3 bottles of juice. Now for a taste test. Ah, delicious. But almost too sweet. I think I would mix this 50% with water. Let me try that. %50 with water. Still very sweet and very delicious. I like it much better with 50% water. Straight melon juice, for me, is much too sweet. So let's get another taste of the full strength. And here's to your health. I'll see you in the next video.